Genesis, Principle #3, Genesis 2:8-24, Marital Union. To grow in openness and unity, we are to follow God's plan regarding a one-man, one-woman relationship within the bonds of marriage. 1. God establishes the first marriage. Genesis 2:8-24 offers Scripture's first picture of marriage, not as a social invention, but as a divine design. God plants the Garden of Eden and places Adam there, verse 8, yet declares, "It is not good for the man to be alone," verse 18. This is the first time something in creation is described as not good, emphasizing that human beings are made for relationship. God personally creates Eve from Adam's rib, not from the dust, as with other creatures, revealing both equality and intimacy between man and woman. Adam responds joyfully, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." This poetic exclamation celebrates God's answer to humanity's need for companionship, mutual support, and unity. 2. The divine model, one man and one woman. Genesis 2:24 explains God's intended blueprint for marriage. "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Here, God sets in motion the pattern for every marital relationship: leaving, establishing emotional and spiritual independence from parents; cleaving, forming a permanent bond of love and fidelity; becoming one flesh, experiencing complete unity in body, soul, and spirit. This verse defines heterosexual monogamous marriage as the foundation of family and society. Jesus reaffirmed this in Matthew 19:4-6, declaring that marriage joins a man and woman in an inseparable covenant. "What God has joined together, let no one separate." 3. The purpose of marital union. God's design for marriage is multifaceted. Companionship. "It is not good for man to be alone." Genesis 2:18. Marriage fulfills the relational nature God built into mankind, reflecting the relational character of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Spirit, living in perfect fellowship. Partnership. Eve is called a helper fit for him. The Hebrew term ezer kenegdo means a corresponding partner, equal in value, different in role. Together, man and woman steward creation and fulfill God's commands. Genesis 1:28. Purity and procreation. Sexual union within marriage expresses physical, emotional, and spiritual intimacy while bringing forth new life, ensuring the continuation of the human family. Sanctification. Through marriage, God shapes character, teaching love, humility, and sacrificial service, qualities modeled by Christ. Ephesians 5:25-27. 4. The principle of openness and unity. Adam and Eve were naked and unashamed. Genesis 2:25. Their relationship was completely transparent, no guilt, fear, or hiding. This innocence pictures the ideal: mutual trust, emotional openness, and spiritual unity. Growth in marriage comes as couples mirror this honesty and grace toward one another. Sin later shattered that vulnerability, Genesis 3, replacing it with shame and blame, but through Christ, believers can reclaim it, walking in truth, forgiveness, and harmony. 5. The covenant nature of marriage. Marriage is not merely a contract, it is a covenant before God. It reflects God's covenant faithfulness to his people, Malachi 2:14. It illustrates Christ's love for his church, Ephesians 5:31-32. It is meant to be lifelong, fostering unity, joy, and shared purpose. By following God's plan, a husband and wife experience the deepest form of earthly union, two lives knit together by divine design to reflect his glory. 6. Living the principle. Honor God's design. View marriage as sacred, instituted by God, not culture. Pursue transparency. Cultivate openness, forgiveness, and emotional honesty. Commit to unity. Guard against division through prayer, patience, and self-sacrifice. Reflect Christ's love. Marriage should visibly represent the covenant relationship between Christ and his church. Summary. Genesis 2:8-24 teaches that marriage is God's ordained union between one man and one woman, built on love, partnership, and covenant loyalty. By growing in openness and unity, couples honor God's original design and reveal His faithful love to the world. Principle #3 reminds us, to glorify God in marriage, we must live out His pattern, a lifelong, transparent, and sacred relationship of mutual love and devotion.